What's up, guys? It's Saturday. It's fucking brutally hot outside, but it's all good. Back with another tutorial video today. Received a couple tens of DMs on Instagram this week, and this is probably by far the most requested trick. So we're gonna try to cover this today. I believe the frontside shove it tutorial video should be up by the end of today. And then this video should be up by Monday-ish, like Monday night. So if you are seeing this video, just make sure to go check the other one out. But let's get into it. What is a frontside 180? A frontside 180 is an ollie where your board and your body turn 180 degrees counterclockwise. Let me show you a couple examples and I'll go more in depth. So this is literally just a variation of the ollie. You have what is called a frontside 180, where if you're regular and you lead with your left foot, you're going to be going counterclockwise, going towards that front foot side. And the back side, if you skate with your left foot in front, would be going the other way, going clockwise. Now the thing that makes frontsides easier is when you're leading with that front foot, you're turning with that front shoulder, which means the board's going to be able to stay in front of you. So if you've seen the frontside pop shove it video, you'd understand that the frontside pop shove goes behind you, so you have to catch it with that front foot because it's going behind you, you can't see it, versus the backside pop shove it. Well, think of it as it's just the opposite with 180s. And it's the same thing. If you're goofy and you lead with that right foot, you're going to turn with that front foot to the right and the board's going to stay in front of you. So the front side is literally just the 180 ollie variation where you're going to turn your body and your board, that 180 position, to go the direction of your lead foot. So just remember that. If you're regular, your left foot's in front. Going to the left is a front side. Going to the right is a back side, or left, right, obviously counterclockwise, front side, and then clockwise the other way. Same thing with goofy. So if you're going to go to the right, you're going clockwise, which is going to be front side, and if you're going counterclockwise, it's called a back side, and the board's going to go behind you. So it's going to be a little more difficult, well, not difficult, but tricky to keep up with the board. But as always, let's start first things first with foot positioning. This goes for both stances. So with my front foot, I like to keep it fairly close to the nose. So like the edge of my foot will be like between the 4 bolts right there, maybe a little more or a little back, give or take, it just depends. And then my back foot is gonna be right in the middle with the ball of my foot doing all the pressure for the pop, like a regular ollie, except I'm gonna have my foot slightly turned to where my foot's gonna favor this pocket here closer to the left, or the direction that I'm gonna be doing the 180. Now let's talk about what each foot is in charge of doing. The back foot's going to be in charge of popping the board kind of at an angle. You're not going to try to do the entire 180 with just that back foot. What the back foot is in charge of is getting that board popped like you're doing an ollie, and it's going to slowly scoop you about 45 degrees to begin the trick, okay? So that back foot, you're going to pop like an ollie, and it's going to go about 45 degrees of the turn, which is going to allow you to set up for your front foot. Now for that front foot, when you pop and you get that slide, that 45 degrees, your front foot's going to slide up like a regular ollie, except you're going to turn with that front foot to try to turn the board the rest of the way to do the 180. Or a lot of people have noticed I do my 180s a little different, where I land in a pivot. I'm going to show you both ways how to do the 180. So the regular 180 without the pivot, that back foot's going to scoop, it's going to go 45 degrees, and with that front foot, you're going to slide it up like an ollie, and you're going to turn your board so that when you're in the air, you're going to slide, you're going to do that ollie, but when you do that, you're gonna twist your body and your shoulders to do that 180, so that way when you do the regular twist, that front foot's gonna allow the board to come up, even itself out, and do the 180. Now comes the important part, the shoulders. So when squaring up for a 180, whether it's front side or back side, in this case it's gonna be front side, you're gonna wind your shoulders up. So since I'm going to the left, I'm gonna wind my shoulders about 45 degrees back to the right, so that way I can twist them to the left and I can turn my body and my momentum with the board as I go for the 180. So I'm gonna pop that 45 degrees, slide my foot, and as I'm doing that, I'm going to allow my shoulders and my body and that momentum to pick the board up and turn it that 180 degrees so I can catch it. So your front foot is literally just gonna be guiding the board. So it's your momentum, your body weight shifting, and your shoulders that's gonna allow you to take that board the rest of the way. And that first 45 degrees, that back foot is just there, just to pop it, get you in the air and get you started. So you're gonna pop it 45 degrees, slide that front foot up and allow it to guide it, and you're gonna allow your body to guide your board and turn it that 180 degrees. Here's an example. So as you can see in that video, if you pay close attention to my back foot, I'll wind up my shoulders as I get my back foot into position, and I'm gonna pop, right? And I guided it, kind of like I'm doing a front side 180 pop shove it, right? So I kick the board away from me, but I also don't kick it like a pop shove it, but you know, I scoop it in the same kind of motion and popping it like an ollie. And I allow my body and my shoulders to twist as I slide that front foot forward, allowing me to even out the board, twist, turn, and catch the board to roll away. So again, it's just one of those things where it's all in that front foot to guide the board, to even it out. And as you guide it, your body and your momentum and your body weight shifting is what's gonna be your key to allowing your body and your board to turn and do the full 180. Okay, now here's the other way, or my preferred way to do the 180s. Is you're gonna follow the same steps. You're gonna slide that back foot and pop it at an angle, almost 45 degrees, and you're still gonna guide with that front foot to where you're gonna attempt to do a perfect 90 or somewhere in the middle between 90 and 180, so around like a 135, I guess if you want to add 45 degrees. You're going to do between a 135 and a 90 degree turn. And now here comes the important part as to why I keep my front foot so close to the nose of the board. Because you do the pop, okay? You have your shoulders and your momentum twisted. You're going, I like to do them about 90 degrees. Okay, you slide your front foot up. As you're coming down to land, that front foot needs to be able to be somewhere where it's not on the edge of the nose, but it's also not stuck on the front of the board. Somewhere in this pocket on the nose where you're gonna be able to slide your foot, straighten it out, so as soon as you land that 90 degree, you're gonna be able to press your board like that. So if you lightly put your foot on the board like so, right, you're able to balance it where there's 2 wheels off the ground. I don't know if you can see that, but you're able to balance it like that. You're gonna catch it like that with that front foot, and you're gonna turn it. So that's a good thing to practice, right? Is to practice putting your front foot, moving it around to where you can catch it and comfortably keep 2 wheels in the air like so, and then just turn it that other 180 degrees to catch it and roll away. And so of course, doing 180s before, I did them the first way I showed you guys, where I just did the full 180. And the reason I changed it is because I came back to skating after taking a year off. When I was doing 180s, I was only able to get that 90 degree turn. So I started thinking to myself, how could I incorporate that 90 degrees into a 180? And the way I was able to do that is I noticed that if I move that front foot forward more, and I get the turn, and I get the full 90 degrees, that while I'm in the process of getting that, I learned that if you put your foot just in the right spot, what's comfortable for you, you're able to balance it, and you can turn it, okay? So, again, this technique takes a lot more time to learn and to master, but if this is your eventual goal, I recommend learning how to do them the first way, where you do the full 180, and then later on, when you're more comfortable with this trick, you can practice turning the board just 90 degrees, catching it with that front foot like that, and pivoting the rest of the way. I just think personally that my method with the pivot looks a lot cleaner on camera, looks more appealing, but either way, there's nothing wrong with doing the trick either way you'd like to. The only downfall with doing the pivot is when you go to 180 over a set of stairs or go over something, obviously you're not going to be able to land and do the pivot, so you're going to have to do the regular 180. So it's good to know both methods, but flat ground, I just think that the pivot method looks better. So again, I'm going to give you one secret I've done to help practice for this. Now mind you, this is not the method I used when learning this trick. It's just one of those things that came with experience and feeling it out and experimenting with new ways to do tricks is how I figured out how to do the trick this way. But I have learned that if you put the board 90 degrees, right, okay, and you jump on it and practice catching with that front foot, I don't know if you guys caught that, but practice leaving the board 90 degrees, okay? Get it to stay still if you can. I'm kind of on a hill on this road, okay? And you're gonna walk up to it and you're gonna jump on it and try to catch it with that front foot and practice pivoting that 90 degrees. Just so that way you're comfortable that when you're able to put it all together, you do that 90-degree turn, or a little more, a little less, whatever the case may be for that 180, that you can jump on the board and you're gonna be comfortable catching it and hitting that pivot. And that's a little secret to learning the pivot method. And that's gonna be it, guys. Like I said, this is from 1 to 5 on my new rating scale. I'd give frontside 180s probably like a 2, 2.5 on the difficulty when it comes to new skateboarders. My whole criteria of that rating is how hard it is for beginners to learn how to do the tricks. And I'd say it's about a 2 or a 2.5. So the biggest thing, like I said, about this is learning to twist your shoulders and switch your momentum so that you can guide that board into doing the 180. The back foot is there to get the rotation started and then get out of the way so it can catch it. And then the front foot is there to slide up like an ollie. And when your body twists, it's going to be that guidance that's going to get the board in the air, and it's going to allow your body and your board to do that 180 to catch it. And again, like I said, don't try to jump straight into the pivot method. Like I said, once you get comfortable doing the trick the first way, if you want to practice jumping on the board and practicing that pivot, you can, and you can mess around with it. And then once you're comfortable with method number 1, and then you have that pivot down, you can practice just going for the 90 degrees and landing the pivot, and you can do the 180 however you'd like. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me. This has been another tutorial video. Remember to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Links will be in the description. Remember to subscribe, leave a like for the video. It definitely helps me out. And if you guys have any personal tricks that you'd like to see, or any ideas or anything for some content that you'd like to see at all, just make sure to leave me a comment. I read all my comments on my Instagram, DMs, all that stuff. Thank you all to my fans and for all my supporters for sending love. Much love to you guys. And yeah, so that's going to be it for me this weekend, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you in the next video.